Hey there, Dave Gardner here, and if you are in LiveGood or if you are actually in any company, you obviously need a flow of leads so that you can continue to get people to check out your website, check out your products, check out your company page, whatever it is, but you want to have a continuous flow. And so it reminded me of a video I did a few years back, and so here I was promoting Russell Brunson's Traffic Secrets, which, on a side note, is an amazing book and an amazing series. I would highly recommend you checking that out and getting more stuff and more training from Russell. There is actually a Secrets of Success launch that's coming out. This is October 2023. It's coming out and can be used for any course or any subject, any industry, any niche. Obviously, ways and strategies to become more successful in every life, becoming more self-confident and things like that. And all of this will obviously carry over when you start to talk to people and communicate in generating leads. So make sure you take a look below and you can register as an affiliate or find out more for both the Secrets of Success with Russell, or obviously if you're looking to join LiveGood still, I'm always looking for motivated people and people that are looking to grow. And so if you want to grow, obviously you want to get leads. I don't want people that just want to sit around and do nothing. Obviously, if you want to join me, be my guest and join me, but don't expect spillover if you're just going to sit there and then, a month from now quit because you weren't seeing any action. Obviously, in order for growth to happen, you have to start taking action. And so, again, like I said, it reminded me of this. So I want to share some strategies that I use to promote LiveGood and different strategies that are out there as well that may click with you a little bit more based on your budget, maybe based on your time, maybe based on your skill level or your comfort zone. And so when this book by Russell actually launched, it was actually around St. Patrick's Day. So obviously I'm dressed like a little leprechaun. I am Irish myself, obviously, so that actually helps. But we followed the acronym of St. Patrick's Day. And so if we scroll down, and there's going to be a link to this video as well, you can actually go more in depth where I talk more about 13 lucky strategies that you can use to grow your business. And so they are right here. And so again, I followed that acronym, St. Patrick's Day, not St. Traffic's Day, but obviously we're trying to get some traffic for you. And so obviously number one is solo ads. And if you haven't done any solo ads yet, a solo ad is basically an advertisement that you can pay someone else who has a big list of people to send clicks your way to your website or to your offer so that they can get some eyes on it and possibly get some leads for you. And so there's a variety of different companies that you can use, like Traffic for Me, you can use Traffic Authority, you can use Udemy. There's a slew of traffic providers that you can use. The key thing is to do your due diligence. I'll have a link below for the main ones that I use and where you can find out where I get a lot of my traffic from. But again, this is where you would pay for a set amount of clicks, and then the person would deliver those clicks to your thing. The key thing is that you'd want to make sure that you have the ability to capture the lead. Don't just ever send someone to a sales page, because if you send someone to a sales page and they don't buy, then they're gone forever. You lost them. But if you send someone to a capture page that intrigues their interest and they opt in, then what happens is now you have that person as a lead in theory for life until they unsubscribe, and then you can continue to follow up with them day after day after day. So make sure you do test those out. Always test your own capture pages out, with your own email or a secondary email, just to make sure that emails are delivered. So obviously you're going to need an email autoresponder or email service. I can also recommend some of those as well. The one that I'm finding out is working really well right now is a company called GetResponse. So again, I can let you know about that as well in the details or in the links below. Next one is a T for teleseminar. Now, teleseminar, these days, we do things like webinars, but, if you were and have been around for a while, maybe you've done stuff on the phone, you've done things on, phone calls, three-way calls, whatever. Those are still methods that you can use today. You can get people on the phone, and if you see my face brightening up, I'm right next to a window and the sun is going back and forth between clouds, so hopefully I don't look like a ghost there. That Irish skin is nice and bright, especially in the sun. So anyway, teleseminars, basically the same concept is being on a webinar or a Zoom today and driving people and sharing your link to Zoom so that people can actually come and check out what the company is all about. And so every Thursday night, there is the cutoff training Zoom with LiveGood, and you would want to grab that link. So if we go over to our LiveGood members area, over on the side, assuming you've upgraded and you're a member, if you click where it says the webinar schedule, on the webinar schedule, you'll see the links to join and to have people be welcomed. And so all you'd have to do is copy one of the links. It's a different for each night in the Thursday, Friday, and Monday. But Thursday, for example, is the cutoff. They talk about the opportunity. They give a little training, give some numbers, but they're really talking about welcoming people in. And then on Thursday nights, they have the cutoff where people have the ability to get into the matrix and become part of the team building. Friday is a more in-depth training. They talk about the numbers for the whole week. They talked about people who've ranked up. They give recognition. And they talk about, again, certain things that are coming in the future with certain products and things like that. The one on Monday, definitely check out if you're looking more on the health end of things or you want to know more background about the materials. You can follow them on Monday. So these are things that you could share with other people so people could get a little more detail on the company itself. So being on a teleseminar or a Zoom meeting or webinar, whatever you want to call it. All right, pinging. Now I'm going to assume that maybe you have already created some content. If you haven't, maybe you get a free blog service, or you recommend or just type in free blog, or if you have your own WordPress blog that you're self-hosting, I would go and ping it. So what you're going to do, anytime I make a blog post, I head over to pingler.com. And hopefully that will come up. So Pingler, Pingler.com. And Pingler.com, if you notice, there's all these ping services. So these are all the Google search engines and search bots and things that basically crawl websites to see that there's activity and that there's increases or improvements to websites. And there's a bunch of them here that you can ping. So all you have to do is create a blog post. You would enter the title of your blog post right here. You would just copy and paste, sorry, not the title, but the actual domain. And then you would enter the title, the name of the actual blog post. So notice how this looks like a website address. You would actually do the address of that website that you've updated, and then the title, and then you can choose 3 categories. And then that way, different search engines would start to pop that up when people were searching for something. Let's say you did an article on events. And so you might choose, depending on the event, you might choose business, maybe you choose marketing. There's a marketing button down here, maybe a how-to, you could talk about information. There's lots of different things that you can choose from in all different categories. And what that will do is allow your thing to start to get out so more people will see it when they're starting to search. Okay, so that is pinging the blog. A is for article writing. There are a lot of article writing softwares and websites out there. All you have to do is type in article writing service or article writing website, and you should be able to go on there and register to write articles. Now, a couple other things that are similar to this, there's a website called medium.com. I believe it's medium.com or medium.org. But Medium is one where you can actually write and become an author. And you can actually earn, I believe, if you actually get a lot of people looking at your post, there's possibilities that you can actually earn money from the ad revenue. Same thing from a website called Quora. If you look up Quora, that's another one. There used to be one called eZine Articles years ago that used to be around. I'm not sure if the same one is around anymore that I used to use, but those are things that you could actually start to get your content out there. Make sure it has to be original. So let's say, for example, if you're looking and you're using a new product that comes out, you can write an article on that new product, sort of like a press release. The next one is similar to the solo ads, but a traffic co-op. Instead of you buying the traffic for yourself and paying and only getting the clicks for yourself, you actually have a bunch of people that pool in money, and you might be able to buy more clicks for a cheaper rate. And so a lot of times, if you're buying clicks, let's just use the number $1 just to keep things simple. So let's say you're going to buy 100 clicks, they're $1 each, and so it's $100. But if you were to buy 1,000 clicks, maybe that solo provider or that traffic provider might offer you those clicks for only 90 cents a click or 80 cents a click, and you'll get a reduced rate. But obviously that would still cost you $800 to get 1,000 clicks, but maybe you only have $100. So what you could do with the traffic co-op is you could pool your money together or your finances together, get a bunch of people that are on your team that want to build and want to grow and want to expand, and you get 10 people that each throw in $80, you now have your $800. Okay, or depending on if you're running it and you want to try to, get some extra clicks for yourself as you're setting this up, and you know that there's going to be some bonus clicks that are often offered by the person. Maybe you charge the person $85 so that because you're doing the effort and you're putting in the time and maybe using the software for rotators and things like that. And, so you're going to kind of compensate yourself a little bit. Maybe you charge a little bit more, but the person is still getting less. So instead of them having to pay $100 for 100 clicks, maybe they're only spending $85 and they're still getting 100 clicks. So they're getting that reduced rate, but not having to buy a large amount. So traffic co-ops are a nice way to go. Okay, R is for reviews and reviewing the products. So perfect example here, I enjoy the products of LiveGood. And so for example, here are the amino acids, LiveGood amino acids. Here are the LiveGood multivitamins. And so these are just two of the products that I have. I have a lot more of the products. If you look at some of my other videos on YouTube, you'll see that I have, tested the protein. I've had the energy patches and the sleep patches. I've had the joint formula. Okay, I've had a lot of the things. And whether it is just for LiveGood or if it's for other things I've been involved in, I will often do reviews and give my personal opinion and my, how I've responded to them or what happened, whether I liked it, didn't like it, what was good, what was bad, an overall, rating of that material. And so obviously you have to make sure if you're going to put that out there, that could be in a blog post, that could be in a YouTube, or it could be on social media, or it could be in a combination of all different places. And I would recommend doing a combination of multiple places so that you can be found, because you never know where you're going to be found. Some people like to watch videos, some people like to read, some people like to listen. There's lots of different opportunities out there where you can be found by sharing your own opinion. I just mentioned social media a minute ago. So again, Instagram. Make Instagram posts and make sure you start to use tags, because tags are often a very good way for people to search, or you come up as common connected material that someone might want to look at when people are doing searches for certain things. And if you are, again, in LiveGood, don't just tag LiveGood, because a lot of people are already in LiveGood, but you might want to tag things like health supplements. You might want to tag things like business or global opportunity, work from home, best MLM, things that are going to be a little more generic than just a company name. Obviously, you could do the company name in addition to that, but don't only do the company name, okay? Because you want to make sure you expand and put a lot of different things. If someone is using, in your post is on amino acids, obviously you could post something about the amino acids. So for example, the ingredients here are magnesium, sodium, potassium, and then there's a bunch of different amino acids that are specific to this, proprietary formula. And so you could add that in there. And so maybe you just talk about muscle strength and add that as a tag. Things that are related that would help someone find your post, okay? So make sure you're doing that, especially on Instagram. Commenting on blogs. Now, this used to be really big years ago, maybe not, might be as big now, but what happens is if you're going to comment on people's blogs, they may start to engage back with you, and then they might want to find out a little bit more about you or do a little research. And this is really important, especially if the blog allows you to leave your name, your email, and a website. If you're able to leave your website, then obviously direct it back to a personal website or a place where you could capture a lead. Or worst case scenario, but is still a good scenario, is your actual LiveGood link where they could come and check out the tour. Now, don't obviously just spam your link. Actually leave comments that are, value providing or, insightful. Maybe they're a little inquiry provoking or getting people to think a little bit. And so all you have to do is search for your niche on something related to whatever blog you want. So, blank blog. If you are an entrepreneur, you could type in entrepreneur blog or work from home blog or, stay at home mom blog. There's a lot of blogs out there. You can find some articles that relate and then leave a meaningful comment and you might start to track people back. If you start to engage with people, then open up the dialect, open up a conversation where you can start to talk to them about the business opportunity if they're open to it, or maybe even open to having advertising on their thing. Maybe they do solo ads, or maybe they offer co-op traffic, or maybe they offer banner ads or some other advertising on their site. So once you engage and open that door, you never know what's going to happen. All right, K, keeping business cards ready. There's a lot of websites out there. Just type in a search, for example, free business cards. There's a lot of places that might give you free plus shipping business cards, where maybe you get 100 business cards for free, and then you actually, again, obviously, like it says, you're going to start your business off that way with your first 100 contacts. Maybe out of your first 100 contacts, maybe you get one person to join, and then that starts to grow. Maybe you take that commission and reinvest it back into your business, but maybe out of the 100, maybe 10 or 15 of them became leads, and maybe they pre-enrolled, maybe they didn't sign up, so continue the follow-up with them. Do weekly emails. Remember to bring them back to the teleseminar, or the Zoom, I should say. And so keep that constant communication with them. Social network. Similar to Instagram, instead of just making your own posts, actually engage on social networks. So if you can scroll through and just click the like button, that's not really going to be very engaging. You want to actually write comments and respond to people who actually put comments on yours, because the more you start to comment on people's posts and the more, therefore, you're engaging with them, the more likely your stuff is going to show up on their page. They might take a likeness to it, and the next thing you know, they might want to find out more, especially if you're sharing results that you're having and you're providing value. Don't just provide your own link on social media, but provide something that is talking about the material. So for example, if we go back to one of my posts, notice this was something that I talked about earlier because it was about the training. Notice it's not just a link. For example, vitamins aren't sexy, but this is. So dang, they don't call it Firestarter Friday for nothing. Yesterday's training was fire, all right? Little hype there, obviously, get people excited. Okay, I watched the training replay and cracked up when one of the trainers said how, for example, vitamins aren't sexy, saving money is sexy, okay? And then catch the replay here. If they click the link, that'll bring them back to the training. So come see how energized and passionate the leadership is here in yesterday's training, and maybe you too will see the vision that I see. And then it talks about the company a little bit more in some of the, improvements and not improvements, but, some of the statistics and growth that the company has had over those years. So again, try to be engaging. Don't just put stuff that people are guessing on and confused about. All right, demonstration. Now, you might think this is like a review, but maybe different from demonstrating. A review might just be talking about pros and cons. Demonstrating might be you actually going on and doing a little video showing you mixing your amino acids, maybe with the energy booster, maybe with the collagen. And so sometimes that's what I mix, or sometimes I mix my super greens with my super reds, and I mix it with the protein. So you could actually show people how to actually go through it so they could get the same benefits as well. Or if it's a different product, show people how to use it. For example, if you're going to make your own video for your own team, let's say you've joined me because maybe you're bilingual and you understand a couple different languages, but maybe you're promoting to people from your host country or your home country, or maybe if it's the country where you used to live, but maybe you've moved, and you're making videos, so you want to demonstrate the product. So for example, as I just did a few minutes ago, I showed you the member area and I showed you how to find the webinar schedule. Now, let's say you're curious about showing people how to find their website. Easy enough. Or how do you get your link to enroll people? Just go to my websites, click that link, and then all you would have to do, for example, is copy this link, livegood.com/yourname. Now, that's if you want to send them to a site where they can see the prices of the products. If you want them to see the business end, you would send them to this one that says the Powerline landing page and says livegoodtour.com/DaveGardner. Now, another thing I want to show you right here and demonstrate is that there is tracking. You can actually figure out where your leads are coming from, especially if you're putting your traffic in all different places. Let's say you're doing multiple solo providers, and let's say you have a blog post, and let's say you have, some emails that are going out, and you have a YouTube video, and you don't know where the people are going, but you want to know which one is giving you the best return on your personal investment, whether that's of your time or your money. And so if you go to the statistics, and if we click on statistics, we'll actually see where all of the clicks are coming and hits are coming from day by day. And so all you have to do is click source statistics, and you'll see that there's a little code. Now, most of mine are coming from a website that I bought on GoDaddy that I forward. So if you look below, my main domain to join me in LiveGood is joindavegardner.com, okay? Relatively simple. It looks nicer on a business card, but joindavegardner.com looks nicer on a website, looks nicer in social media. It's not a whole bunch of links and letters and randomness. So for example, this is my real full domain, https://www.livegoodtour.com/DaveGardner, source equals ABC. Now this ABC is what you can switch. So notice where it says source equals. That's the part right here, source equals. So what you're going to do, you can change this part, and then you can figure out where your traffic is coming from. So you would just copy this whole thing and just change the ABC. So where it says ABC, like I said, you're going to remove that and you're going to add it. Now I would pull this, I would copy this, and I would do this maybe in a notepad or maybe do it in a Microsoft Word document, because then the link won't be live and you'll be able to make sure that you change it accordingly. Then you can copy the new link and then go from there. So if we look at all these different things that have different backgrounds. So ECF, Udemy. Okay, Udemy is the name of one of the traffic solo providers that I talked about. And Mantis is one of the solo sellers within Udemy. So I did a Udemy traffic site with him or them to a website that I have created or I have on the side, and I got other leads there. But of the other leads, I think maybe I did 100 clicks. Maybe I had 30 leads or 40 leads onto a different website, but then of those, notice 16 pre-enrolled, or sorry, if we look at my numbers, there are the hits. So 16 of those people that maybe were leads then came to my LiveGood page, and of those 16, 5 pre-enrolled. So they're still on my list. I'm still following up with them. Notice 0 have upgraded yet, so I can still follow up. But I can take that and I can look. Now notice Udemy Mantis, 16, 5 of them pre-enrolled out of 16. If we look at Udemy Miriam, there's a different one. In Udemy Glenn, when I did Miriam, it was 3 clicks and 3 enrollees. Glenn was 7 clicks and 3 enrollees. So I might want to test and do Miriam again because the people she had, but I got to also go back and look at Miriam and see, okay, well, if Miriam did 100 clicks, how many leads actually came? Okay, did I only get, 20 leads and only 3 of them came here, or did I get 16 leads and all 16 came? Okay, that's a big thing you have to consider. But that's one of the cool things, like going in and demonstrating and showing you how you would do it. So again, you would highlight this, and I have actually closed it. So I'll open up a notepad here just to show you what I'm talking about. I thought I had one open. So bear with me here for a second. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. My computer's a little older and a little full, so it's moving a little slower. So I appreciate your patience. So I'm going to just copy this link. I'm going to hover over it. I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to copy the link address, or you could left click and scroll over the whole thing and copy. Obviously there's a couple different ways to copy something. And we're going to go into our notepad and I'm just going to right click and paste, or you could do Control V. So what I was saying, you're going to have this long link. You're going to change those last letters. So this is where you would put, so for example, solo add, and then put today's date, like 10 dash, what do we got? Today's the 12th, 12/23. And then I could do, for example, T for me or TF me. I usually do T for me. But that's a different website. Then I would know that it was a solo ad. I would know the date I did it, and I would know who it was through. So there's different things you could add in there. Maybe I do another one. If we just copy this, and then let's say I did a post on YouTube, maybe I say YT traffic, or let's see, traffic training. And then maybe with today's date. So then I know, for example, if someone becomes a lead, they came from YouTube on my traffic training video that I made on this date. And so it's a good way for you to go through, and that's what you would put in the description, because now you know people are finding that video and they're coming there. So maybe you start to do more of those types of videos. Or if you're getting involved in YouTube advertising or some Facebook advertising, maybe you take that ad, or maybe you take that post and create an ad with it, because you know it's starting to get a little more traction. So again, there's a lot of cool things that you can do. So again, that would be an example of demonstrating the product, showing people how to actually do it. Another cool one, just asking people to share. Okay, I would love it if you obviously have subscribed to my channel. I got lots of good content, all different facets and ideals and concepts involved with marketing. So obviously, like they say, smash the like button or ring the bell, whatever they say. But subscribe so you know when your next videos are going to come and when I have stuff. Which again, it's free for people to share stuff. Whether it's on Facebook, you can click that little arrow and share, and then other people are going to see it. Maybe it ends up on their page. If someone might not want to join you, maybe they want to still support you and they can share your stuff. Maybe part of your advertising is buying a bottle of this, and if you know that that person that you're friends with on Facebook or social media has a really good following, maybe you give them a bottle of it for free, and the intent is that they're going to put a post that engages their environment or their followers and talks about your product. And obviously they could just say, hey, I got this free bottle of, so-and-so from my buddy who is in this new company. I'm loving the taste of it. I'm not involved, or I don't want anything to do with business. But if you're looking for something very similar, then ABC, contact him. Here's his link. They're tagged in the post. Whatever, reach out to them, so on and so forth. You could put your details on the post, things like that. So asking other people to share, you could really come up with a great way to expand your network. And then the last one, obviously, probably where you found this video, but likely I've also put it on my blog. So for example, we are looking all this background right here that we've spent most of this video on. This is my blog. So again, DaveGardner.com, and then there is the video. So I uploaded the video to YouTube, then I embedded and took the video from YouTube and put it on my blog. And then what I would typically do is I would copy this link and I would put that in Pingler, like we mentioned up here for pinging the blog, okay? And then I would typically post it on social media, on Facebook. I might then send it out as a broadcast email to my group, and I will keep coming back to it. And so notice, it is 2023, but I did this in 2020. So I'm constantly repurposing content. And that's another key thing. You don't have to recreate the wheel. You could actually use someone else's video. You might want to, again, consider, though, the fact that if they use someone else's video, they might go to that person, especially if that person is in LiveGood or the company that you're promoting, and maybe they end up joining that person. So make sure, obviously, you're maintaining that communication, and make sure you open up that avenue that people will be able to join you. So obviously always have a call to action for people to join. And so, like I said, with this link right here, I ended up going to GoDaddy. When we go back to things like the business website. So for example, these business websites, show you them again. You have the business side that's heavy on, promoting people to join the power line and to lock in their position. That's the one that's LiveGood Tour. But then you also have the one they can go where they can actually see the prices or compare the different prices between the wholesale and the retail. And so, for example, I've taken a link that looked like this and I turned it into with GoDaddy, joindavegardner.com. So I bought the domain joindavegardner.com, and inside that I forwarded the domain through the settings in there to a link that looks like this, okay? And then mine just says, the domain. So if we go back and look, we saw that that one was the one with the most clicks in the beginning. The other thing is I wanted to have something more on the product side of things. So for example, what I did for the product side of things, I bought this domain, certifiedhealthproducts.com, because all of our LiveGood products have certificates of analysis. And if you're in the members area, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, certificates of analysis, and click on that, you will actually see all the materials that the company has launched, and they've actually sent them to companies that do independent studies to test out and look and make sure that these materials are clean and pure and what they say they are. So for example, notice we have a metal test and a certificate test in some of them. So if we look at the certificate test, you can actually see that things have been tested for materials that could be contaminants. So notice we got mold, yeast, coliforms, E. coli, staphylococcus, salmonella. Notice negative or extremely low numbers that would be suitable to last a long time. And so all of these are available in there. And so we have products that are organically certified. They are, non-GMO, they're, gluten-free, most of them I believe they're vegan, so on and so forth. Okay. And so I bought something that I want to be able to share because some people might only be interested in the products. And I'm not saying you have to go and buy a domain name, but on GoDaddy, you can buy a domain name for about $10 to have and own the name for about a year. Okay. You have to renew it every year. But for $10, it's a lot easier to tell someone join DaveGardner.com, or on my business card, it's a lot easier to see CertifiedHealthProducts.com. It looks a lot nicer than that longer string of things. For me to go, and tell someone, I'm going to go back here, make sure we're at the right page. For me to go and tell someone, for example, like this one, to look at just the super reds or just the super greens or the products, to say, go to LiveGood.com/DaveGardner. They might remember, they might not. They might put David Gardner and go to somebody else. They might go to, this one, LiveGoodSuperReds.com/DaveGardner. That's a lot to remember. So we want to try to keep it simple. So again, that is something I've done for that. And so that, before we get into too long, we're already after the half-hour mark. I appreciate your attention. Obviously, take a look at the details below. There's links there for things that I've mentioned or things that I think are going to be valuable for you. So make sure you look at all of the details. The other thing is, feel free to look at all the details and how I have it lined up, because that'll give you details, or ideas, I should say, of how when you do your YouTube videos, you can start to get more leads and more looks from your YouTube videos because people are finding them because your videos are set up the right way. That could be because of the right title, you have the proper links, you have keywords, you have other things that are in there that provide opportunities for people to click and to take action. So hopefully you found benefit. Again, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe so you know when the next videos are coming out. Make sure, and I appreciate the love, if you can give me those thumbs up. And like we said before, where'd we go here? Ask others to share your content. So feel free to grab my video and share it. Share it with others. Share it on Facebook. Share it on a blog. Share it with people that you know on your team that could benefit. Look forward to seeing your success. If you have any questions or comments, just leave them below. I always will get back to them, usually within 24 hours, often sooner, because I want to see your success as well. And obviously, if you're looking forward to getting into LiveGood, if you haven't done it yet, but you're still trying to figure out and do your due diligence, and you're looking for a team to grow with, I would love to have you and work with you and be able to help you grow and achieve those goals. So again, like I said before and we've seen earlier, go to joindavegardner.com. All right, take care.